now in the present situation. Let's practice these ones. How long have you been a student, Luis?
I've been a student for many years. I want to be a dentist, so I must learn English.
Thank you, Luis. Monica, what is your father's job?
He's a technician at a hospital. He has worked there for 14 years.
Wow, it's a long time. Yeah. Rosa, what's your mother's job?
She's a housewife. She works very hard because my father is an optometric. He has been at his office all the time recently. He can't help at home.
Good answers, everybody. And now we have come to another look and listen. Look and listen. Jerry has lived near the hospital for a long time. Cindy hasn't ever worked for that doctor. Dr. Jones has already opened the office. Fran has been a nurse at the hospital for many years. Read and repeat. Past perfect tense. Well, now let's learn something new. Let's look at the past perfect tense. The doctor had arrived at work long before 10 o'clock. When had you last seen Dr. Brown? It was the first time the surgeon had performed an operation. I had never visited a gynecologist before. Now, the past perfect tense refers to an activity or situation completed before another action in the past. This means two things happened in the past, one thing happened before. The past perfect is used to describe the earlier past action. It's formed this way. Okay, we use had or hadn't plus past participle. Okay. Questions begin with had or hadn't. Yes, no questions begin with had or hadn't, then we would have subject, past participle. Okay, now this emphasizes the duration of an activity that was in progress before the other activity. We use time expressions often with this tense. We use already, just like the present perfect, already, just, maybe, rarely, recently, still, and yet. Okay. Now, connecting words are often used also. Connecting words such as after, let's put gaps here, after, before, by the time, and until and when. Now, the simple past is used for the second action or the later action that happened in the past. Let's look at two examples to show this. Okay. Until 1988, Dr. Smith had worked at St. John's Hospital. Until 1988, Dr. Smith had worked at St. John's Hospital. Now, Dr. Smith's work was the first activity in the past, and it was completed before another time, 1988. So we use the past perfect to show us that this was the earlier event, the earlier action. Now let's use another example. It had begun to rain when I left for the doctor's office. It had begun to rain when I left for the doctor's office. Now, in this sentence, the first action is it had begun to rain. This is the earlier action. The past perfect tells us this is the earlier action. I left for the doctor's office is the second action in the past. It happened after. So first, it began to rain. After, I left for the doctor's office. Past perfect for the earlier action. Simple past for the later action. Okay, let's practice. Rosa, can you give me a sentence using the past perfect?
Sure. The doctor had arrived before the operation started.
I hope so. Good. Monica?
The pediatrician had worked at the hospital for 20 years before he left.
Wonderful. Lewis, what do you think?
The Orleys had brought their children to the optometrist before 1999.
Right, good. To the optometrist. Now, as usual, a good job by everyone. And as usual, it's time for Look and Listen.
Look and listen.
Before they went to the hospital, the children had cried for hours. After the nurse had dropped her stethoscope, she began to laugh. Before 2000, I had never visited a gynecologist. The orthopedist had moved to San Diego before the earthquake.
Read and repeat. Review.
Well, let's do some exercises now. Monica, you can give me 3 sentences about podiatrists using should.
Okay.
Lewis, 3 sentences about nurses, and you use must. And Rosa, you can use must too, and 3 sentences about orthopedists. Okay, Monica.
Here are my sentences. A podiatrist should have a small nose because feet are smelly. A podiatrist shouldn't tickle people's feet. A podiatrist should give pedicures.
You're a funny girl. Lewis, how about yours?
Here you go. A nurse mustn't be careless. A nurse must help the doctors. A nurse must be patient.